Yo, what's good, YouTube? Zamcro here, back with the Major League Pokemon Season 3. We have made it to the finals of the 8-man tournament. Of course, the quarterfinals was forfeited, so we actually only won one match to get here since the regular season. And basically, we're taking on the Toronto Staraptors and my good buddy Noodle, who defeated Arky Knight in the semifinals of their side of the bracket. And my opponent has a scary ass team. Mega Charizard X, Azumarill, Diggersby. Those three alone are just incredibly hard for my team to deal with. Tangrowth, Crobat, Registeel, Licky Licky, Starmie, Sableye, Mismagius, and Rotom Fan. Diggersby is noted to be the leading knockout artist of the season. And my good buddy Noodle really likes that bunny core, especially Chubbs, his Azumarill. And basically, I'm going to bring this team to try to counter, obviously try to counter team him and win. I'm going to bring a fully defensive Gorgas Super. This is my best way of taking on his bunny core. Of course, I do have to have this thing for both of those big ass bunnies. Leftovers for just maximum recovery. Will-O-Wisp, Toxic, Lead Seed, and Substitute. Basically, I can set up a substitute on a Diggersby that's not locked into knockoff, obviously, and a substitute. So if they lock themselves into Earthquake, for Return, or Frustration, or Waterfall, or Aqua Jet, that's the Azu and the Diggersby, I can set up a substitute and then Lead Seed, Will-O-Wisp, or Toxic. So if he has the Charizard and I have my Gorgas in, I'm every time going for Toxic, predicting his Charizard to switch in on my Gorgas every time. I will go for Toxic every time. And basically, if the Charizard's gone, I can set up subs and Lead Seed, Will-O-Wisp, spam onto his bunny core. And yeah, this is my only way of dealing with those two monsters. And I think Frisk will help me check their items. So if they're choice locked, I know. And then, yeah, basically that's all her Heckler here is for. And then I got my Fat Boy Snorlax. One of my, it's not really a counter or anything, but it's a way I can deal with, take a hit from Charizard and get some damage off on it with Earthquake. And just like make sure you can't set up too much. I have another mine that I'll talk about that's for that later as well. This will be my backup switch in. I got Curse, Substitute, Frustration, and Earthquake. Basically, once his Ghost types are gone, Sableye and Mismagius, this thing can put in some major work. Especially if I get one or two curses up, maybe more depending on how the match is going. Thick Fat helps me live, Flare Blitz from the Zardex. Leftovers to maximize recovery. Curse and sub. Basically, if I set up a sub and go for some curses, he can't break my sub with his bunny core if they're not banded. And yeah, that's basically it for Snorlax. Could possibly be a win condition, and it could possibly be a sack. It just depends on how the match is going. Next up, my boy Wukong here, another Focus Sash Endeavor set, but this time I'm rocking 3 attacks with the Endeavor. No Protect, no Rocks, Flamethrower, Focus Blast, and Vacuum Wave. Basically, this is another safeguard against a DD Zardex or the bunny core if they're weakened enough, or I can just bring this thing in, let them, basically knock me down to my Sash Endeavor and then Vacuum Wave. So I have ways around most of his threats with my first 3 mons, as long as I play right and play smart. And this speed allows me to speed creep a Zard that is speed creeping an Adamant Tauros, I think, or and definitely allows me to speed creep a Zard that is speed creeping my Wuji Yang here. I have 281 speed to speed creep Diggersby, max special attack, 4 in attack, even though I'm a minus attack nature, 32 in 32 EVs in HP with the Life Orb. Basically allows me to Oko, or allows me to have maximum damage output on Starmie and Azu if they're not invested, and it can maybe knock them out depending after rocks, that is. Life Orb, Fusion Bolt, Ice Beam, Earth Power, and Roost are the only coverage I need. I don't need any Dragon coverage because Ice Beam and Earth Power do enough to Zardex. Well, not Earth Power so much, but Ice Beam does enough to Zardex where I don't have to really need Dragon coverage. And yeah, hopefully Big Bad Kieran can put in some work for us, and we'll move on to my Noodle Queen here, who is another one of those mons that just hits everything. I got the Pasho Berry just in case his Azu's actually, I outspeed Azu anyway, I think, with this speed investment. Even a Jolly Azu, which I don't expect. But I set up my rocks and can live like a Aqua Jet. I don't think I can live a +6 Aqua Jet, but like I said, I think he's gonna bring Banded Bunny Core, and I can live a Banded Aqua Jet with this and knock it out with a Thunderbolt or Sludge Wave respectively. Earth Power just allows me to hit basically everything that's not, you know, in the air, and Sludge Wave and Earth Power, you know, just for stab. T-Bolt is my best option for coverage, as it hits the Starmie and the Crobat, which are not going to be knocked out if they're utility sets from Earth Power or Sludge Wave, and Crobat's not going to be knocked out by either of these two anyway, so I do need Thunderbolt there. Sure Force to maximize my damage output. Stealth Rocks, because Stealth Rocks are important, and then like I said, this HP is, or this speed is there to outspeed the Azu. And then we'll move on to Togetic here, another T-Wave support mon. Basically, I can set up a Reflect and then Baton Pass out into something like my Heckler or my Fat Boy. Basically, what this allows me to do is set up a Reflect on the Azus or the Zard even, and then Baton Pass out into something that can take a hit, being probably one of these six. So, with that being said, let's hop into the battle here. And he does bring the Charizard, the Bunny Core, with Azu and Diggersby, the Tangrowth, the Starmie, and the Mismagius. So, basically, for Snorlax to put in any kind of work, I need to get rid of the Mismagius and probably the Tangrowth as well, depending what kind of set it is. Probably an AV set, don't really know. But, we'll hop into the battle here and see what happens here. I want to lead with Nidoqueen because I want to set up my rocks, but he's actually going to lead with the Starmie. So really, really good play on his part to lead with the Starmie, and forces me out to my Togetic immediately. Take 22% from the Psyshock, and I can just set up a Reflect, and then he's going to switch out to his Tangrowth, and then switch back, and he's going to double into his Azu, as I can Baton Pass out into my Gourgeist Super. Frisk the Choice Band, like I said, and then like I also said, if he has the Zard, I just go for Toxic. He does switch into the Zard, and I'm just going to switch straight back out, go into my boy Snorlax here, and so he DDs in regular form. It don't really matter. That's against the rules, but they don't really matter because he's going to Mega Evolve right here, and it didn't benefit him any. So he's going to Mega Evolve, go for the Dragon Claw as I go for the Earthquake. I mean the Substitute, excuse me, and then the Earthquake. I'm going to force him to break my sub and then go for the Earthquake as Toxic racks up a little bit of damage. And it should put him in range to die from the Toxic, and it does, doing 54%. So, huge threat going right there. Really good for me, not so well for him, and I feel like the game's in my favor at this moment, but let's continue. He brings in his Diggersby here. I'm going to predict him to want to kill my Snorlax, and Knockoff cannot kill my Snorlax from the range it was at. Yeah, Knockoff cannot kill this Snorlax at this range, and I can get some pretty good damage off with Frustration, but I'm going to predict him to go for the Earthquake or the Return to knock me out, and I'm going to switch into my Gourgeist. Here he's going to make a great play. As I frisk his Choice Band, he's going to actually go for the Knockoff. So, my answer to this Bunny Core is immediately on turn 8 just wrecked because of my own misplay. Predicting him, or on an over prediction basically. Well, not really an over prediction, but a misplay. It was a misplay. I should have left my Snorlax in as it was for the Zard and not for the Bunny Core, and then I would have a full HP Heckler to take on the Bunny Core still, but he's going to go for the knockoff, and I'm not going to let something else lose its item and a lot of HP as well. I'm just going to sack off my Heckler there, bring in my Wuji Yank here, go for the Ice Beam. He switches in his Tangrowth. He says he only brought this for my Crook. He feared the Scarf Crook, and I'm just going to, it had to be Assault Vest to live my Ice Beam, so it's going to take it out with the second hit there. And here I'm going to go for the Fusion Bolt, and I get a critical hit, which does matter. That definitely matters. I could only do a maximum of 94%, but my best play was to stay in and go for the Fusion Bolt. I could have switched into my Noodle Queen, predicting the play rough, but I thought it was too risky if he wanted to make another prediction himself, so I'm just going to stay in, go for the Fusion Bolt, knowing that the rest of my team can take on the rest of his team pretty comfortably. I know he's choice banded, so basically I can bring in my Infernape next and kill him with the Vacuum Wave, or bring in my Noodle Queen next and kill him with the Thunderbolt. And he don't have a switch in to Thunderbolt. That doesn't die to Earth Power the following turn. Assuming that he would, you know, make a misplay with his Diggersby. But I do go for the Fusion Bolt, was my best play in my opinion. Maybe not my best play, but it worked out for me because I got a critical hit. And then I'm going to switch out here as he goes for the Trick. So he tricks me a Choice Scarf and he gets my Violet. And basically I'm just going to try to get some damage off here and go for the Air Cutter. Does 26% to the Starmie, so I know this thing's not a utility set. It's an offensive set with leftovers. And I'm just going to keep going for the Air Cutter, and then I'm going to switch out, predicting another Ice Beam because he knows he's got to knock me out. And here I can get some, you know, at least some good damage off. I'm going to switch into, I'm going to go for the Frustration. It does 57%, so Snorlax putting in some work here, hitting everybody for over half. And then he's going to switch out here to his Diggersby, which is very strange to me, but it's going to allow him to start going for Return or Frustration or whatever he had. He does show the Return. He does get a critical hit, so a revenge crit, but I don't think it mattered as much as his mattered. Here I'm going to go for the Ice Beam, and it's going to almost kill. Does 75%, and I freeze him. The freeze don't matter. Basically here he can't hit me for much, and I was going to switch out to my Togetic anyway because it only makes sense. I'm going to do that even though he's frozen because I can't risk him thawing. And I'm basically just going to go for an Air Cutter again. Get as much damage off as possible. Diggersby is going to knock me out with the Quick Attack. I'm going to bring in my Infernape here, knowing I can take a Quick Attack pretty comfortably. I'm just going to go for the Flamethrower. And he's going to bring in the Mismagius on my Flamethrower. And now that I've bluffed that I probably don't have priority, what I can do here is I can go for the Vacuum Wave and knock him out. I think it's a roll though. I think it was like a 38 to 47% roll or something like that. I'm not really sure on the couch, but I know it was a roll because I actually do go for the Flamethrower here and let him get chip damage off. But I should have probably went for the roll, just in case I did get the high roll, and then Starmie wouldn't be an issue since it is an offensive Starmie. But I do knock out the Diggersby with the Flamethrower, and he's going to bring in the Starmie here, and Vacuum Wave has a chance to knock it out, and it barely misses out on the knockout. He's going to be able to knock me out, and here I have to bring in my Kyurem and just go for the Fusion Bolt to make sure. The reason I go for Fusion Bolt here is if he has the if he has Recover and Dazzling Gleam, if I go for Ice Beam here as he goes for Recover, then I would be in Dazzling Gleam range. So I have to go for the Fusion Bolt just in case he if he goes for Recover. He does not go for Recover. He goes for the Psyshock, and Fusion Bolt will be able to pick him off, and we will win the Season 3 Major League Pokemon Championship. And yeah, it was a good game to my buddy Noodle here, Mank Dean 69. He's a great battler, really fun person to talk to. I think he's the youngest member in the league and very mature for his age. We've basically been here in the league for the entire existence of the league. And he beat me out of the season 1 playoffs and then lost in the semifinals or something like that. And then I'm not sure what he did last season, but always a top contender and a really fun battler. Of course, loves his chubs. Again, sorry for the crit. Don't know how much it mattered in the end game, but I know it mattered on the kill of Azumarill and allowed Kieran Black to stick around and pretty much win the match. So, yeah, that's going to be the end of Season 3, and Season 4 won't start for a while. Let the tears settle down in Sun and Moon and whatnot, and we'll figure that out later. So, if you like, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.